I can hear it. That clock is ticking away. Tick, 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 tick. It's after 11 o'clock, and you know what that means. It means it's time for your favorite show and mine, Countdown to Armageddon. And I'm your host, Publius, bringing you the latest, the greatest, and whatever I might happen to see. And today I see a little confusion. What is happening in this world? You know, words used to have specific meanings. If I said something was hard, that meant it had, it was difficult, or maybe it was hard, hard as in a physical property. Nowadays, though, hard meaning can mean anything else. Why? Because we have a group of people who are intentionally working their best to undermine the meanings of words. Why are they doing this? Well, they each have their opinion, but my personal opinion is this is the best way to keep people off confused. They have no idea what's happening. How? Okay. Let's take a look first off what's going on. We have a group of people who are redefining words to mean different things. For example, we had a COVID relief bill where the vast majority of the money was not spent on COVID. We have an infrastructure bill now before Congress where the vast majority of its money isn't on traditional infrastructure related items. Instead, it's on new things. This is not just a one-off. It's a traditional failing with the government. They name things one thing in order to get support, and they have nothing to do with what they're naming it. But here, what we have now is something that's a little bit more insidious. We have Biden telling people that bipartisan now has nothing to do with getting the Republicans in the House and Senate to support something. Bipartisan means, well, some people like it that might have been Republicans. Why the move to change the meanings of words? Well, that's why they can say whatever they want and never be called liars. If words have no direct meaning, then no one is ever a liar. Unless, of course, you're the people in power. Let's take a look at how this works. First off, take a very strong and powerful word like racism. Racism now has been used so much against so many people simply for having a disagreement with what one group of people says. For example, if you opposed Barack Obama, then obviously you were a racist. Why? Because that's the only acceptable reason to a certain group of people on why you would oppose Barack Obama. Does that make any real sense? Of course not. People opposed Barack Obama for a multitude of reasons. They didn't agree with his policies, and that is everyone's right to pick and choose what they believe in. But, you see, if you disagree with Barack because of his policies, that was one thing. If you disagree with Barack because of policy, then obviously you're not a bad person, you just disagree. They couldn't have that. So now, the only reason you could disagree with Obama is that you're a racist. The only reason you would oppose Black Lives Matter is you're a racist. The only reason you would oppose anything is you're a racist. It has become their catch-all, their go-to word for whatever they want. If you don't support this, then obviously you're a racist. You're a white supremacist. If you supported Donald Trump, obviously it's because you're a white supremacist. You're a racist. You should be ostracized in society. So let's take a look at another way they've changed the way words mean. There was a riot, a very small riot, but a riot in Washington, D.C. A group of protesters, not even a large percentage of those protesters, but a certain fraction of those protesters stormed the Capitol building and broke in. They never once attacked anybody, but yet now we are being told this was an act of insurrection. Now let's rewind back about 6 months or so and look at the protesters throughout the United States. They were protesting in favor of Black Lives Matter, Antifa, and the different people that were injured by the police. They stormed buildings. They burnt buildings. They burnt buildings with people in it. They attacked government offices with government employees still present. All of these things were just considered peaceful, mostly peaceful protests. What's the difference? The difference is one supported their cause and the other didn't. And by changing the meanings of words, they can call one group of people and say they're guilty of insurrection because they're white supremacists, versus the other group who are mostly peaceful protesters because they support what they agree with. And this is what the overall prevalence of the way they're twisting words means. They're not doing it to help further understanding. They're doing it to cripple any ability for a person to understand what is going on. Why? Because they don't want you deciding what is right or wrong. They want to decide for you. The mainstream media will tell you what to believe. Your job is to sit there and let them. To do anything else, you risk the danger of being called a white supremacist, a racist, or if you happen to be unlucky enough to be a minority, then what they'll say there is even worse. Because remember, no one is allowed to make prejudicial statements against somebody of color or any minority, unless, of course, you're a Democrat. Then it's okay. Great example. When a black Republican came out and condemned to criticize President Biden's speech to Congress, a member of the Democratic Party of the state of Texas called the man an Oreo. This was okay. Even though this is a racial slur, nobody took official action. Why? Because he didn't mean it that way. I promise you, if a Republican had called any member of Congress, whether that is a senator or a member of the House, an Oreo, they would be out of office. But he was a Democrat, so that's okay. Let's look at some of the other things they do. First off, you have organizations out there that are supposed to be checking facts. But you see, they check facts based on opinion. They say that, well, we don't agree with this fact or these people's opinions we don't agree with. Therefore, they have to be mostly false, or flat out calling them lies. The idea that President Trump supposedly said that there were good people amongst the protesters on both sides in Charlotte, which he did say. But then he, in the next sentence, stated, quote, well, I'm not going to quote it, but when he flat out said, this does not include white supremacists. There is no room for the white supremacists and the KKK. Now, those were his statements. Fact checkers will sit back and go, but he actually doesn't really mean that, because we know that Trump is a white supremacist, so he was only saying that to get people, confuse people, keep them in line. What you have, folks, is people are twisting stuff. They're going to twist things to mean what they want them to mean, and they're going to hope that you have no clue. You obviously don't read the paper, otherwise you'd know they're full of crap. So what does that leave? That leaves you and me lost and confused. Alright, folks, I'm going to try to pause this for a second, and I'll be right back. Thanks, folks. Sorry I had to stop for a second there. Being the only person that does the recording and everything else for the Publius show makes it a little difficult at times whenever something comes up, but I'm doing my best. Okay, so they're going to redefine what is right or wrong based on their opinion, not looking at fact. They don't believe in facts. Facts are whatever your heart says they are. You think that Donald Trump was a racist, although there's nothing you could show or point to that says it, that proves this. That's okay, because you believe it. And that's what truly matters, is what you believe. The other thing this does is it opens up a whole world of ways to attack people. Since nothing is right or wrong, there is no truth and there are no facts, then when the media misquotes something or takes something out of context, it's an accident. And it doesn't matter. Why? Because we all know that deep inside it's probably true. It's another way to manipulate. Now, a lot has been made over the fact that recently the Republicans went off of an idea that Biden was going to ban beef. No, Biden has not said anything about banning beef. But in order to meet his goals, he's going to probably have to. That's one of those, that's the elephant that's in the room. Now, has anybody mentioned the possibility of banning beef? Yes, AOC. It's part of her Green New Deal. Cut back on our beef consumption. Tell us how much we're allowed to eat. Now, again, one person said it, but another person's got blamed for it. Okay, Republicans made a big deal out of this. They're bad. The media went hog wild over the Republicans' mistake. But yet when they do the same thing, it's considered honest reporting. And they may post a correction. Not a guarantee. They can tell false stories. They can deliberately make up shit about the people that they don't like. And that's okay. Because they're just pushing a narrative and they believe in their narratives. See, somehow it's okay for the Democrats and the progressives to lie, cheat, steal, twist things, take things out of context, ruin people's lives because it's part of their agenda and their goal. But let anybody else even come close to doing anything like that, and they blow up. It's so wrong of you. But yet, okay when they do it. The other thing you'll hear is that by twisting words around, they get to change the way that we look at the word compromise. Now, they already did this with the idea of tax cuts. By cutting the proposed budget from the future, they're actually, quote, saving money. But that's money we haven't even spent yet. You're not saving us money by spending less than what you promised you would say. Less than what you thought of saying. So, why is all this being done? Because the more they can confuse you, the more they can keep you unsure of what is truth, the more they can control you. The more you're going to have to turn to organizations like CNN and MSNBC and have them translate for you. And trust me, they'll be glad to tell you what everything means from their own particular personal bias. A bias they believe so strongly in that they don't believe that the other side has the right to be heard at all. Folks, this whole movement, including the idea of calling everybody racist, the movement towards the woke society, all of this is designed to twist and torture you into having no idea of what's going on. If you are kept off balance, then you don't realize how badly you're being screwed over. And that is their goal. The less you know, the less you understand, the more power that they have, because the more you're going to voluntarily surrender. All because this is going to further their goals. Now remember, in the book 1984, once they could change the meanings of certain words, it was easier for the government to control things. And always brings me into mind a song by Led Zeppelin, Stairway to Heaven, in which there's a sign on the wall, but she wants to be sure because she knows sometimes words have two meanings. Well, now words have no meaning, so that sign doesn't mean a thing unless it's whatever they want it to mean. And that they're going to hold against you. You need to be on your guard. And the only way to fight this is make people start meaning what they say and calling them out on the bullshit when they don't. When somebody misuses a word, call them on it. Sorry, but Joe, infrastructure does not mean daycare. Sorry, Joe, infrastructure doesn't mean college. Infrastructure means roads, bridges, and things in that nature. And only when we start calling these people to order are things going to start getting better? All right, folks, this has been Publius bringing you to the latest and greatest. This is the Countdown to Armageddon. I hope you've enjoyed today's show. If you did, hit that like button. If you didn't like it, hit that like button and then tell me why. If you did like it, hit the like button. Tell me why also. Either way, folks, hit the like button. Leave comments. Let me know what you think. And whoever these idiots are that keep trying to post links to porn sites, you will be deleted each and every time you post it. And I will start blocking you and reporting you to the platforms, because that isn't exactly cool. Last but not least, folks, hit that subscribe button. Remember, when we hit 1,000 subscribers, I can go live, and I can actually, hopefully, have conversations with some of you all. And you guys can tell me what you think, come up with topics, and we can have a real honest-to-goodness discussion about anything you want. Why? Because this is my channel. Hope you enjoyed today's episode, and you guys have a great week.